For Victims and Villains, my name is Josh. Today we are talking about the Blu-ray release of The Last Stop in Yuma County. Now, this movie tells the story of a group of strangers that are brought together by some unfortunate circumstances as they try and make it through the remainder of the day. Yuma County is one of those movies that the less you know going into it, the better it's ultimately going to end up being. And honestly, the least you know about it, like even giving the synopsis for this review felt really hard because there's so much that about this movie that I want to talk about, but I'm like, it unfolds, and literally the less you know, the more impactful this film is going to be. Jim Cummings, the lead actor for this movie, does an exceptional job at kind of being the anchor for all of the through lines for the stories that Yuma County is telling. It's a real treat to get to see his performance and kind of his arc and character development throughout the course of the film. He's really the only character with development, but again, you kind of understand and see why once you watch the film. And while I think Cummings is incredible and it's a real treat to kind of see his development throughout the course of this, this doesn't happen without the writing and directing from Francis Galluppi. I hope I said that name right. I don't think I did, but also congratulations if you happen to see this review on getting the next Evil Dead. Galluppi does a great job at really crafting an atmosphere that is never as intense or anxiety-inducing as some horror films or even action films are, but there's always kind of this like lightheartedness that is at its core. There's always this little shred of humanity and a groundedness that I found myself really appreciating in not only these characters and narrative, but also the decisions the characters make throughout as the circumstances of the film kind of change. Also, I want to shout out two performances in this movie that I thought kind of really stole some of the scenes from me. In particular, Richard Brake is being one of them. He's a great antagonist and a great villain to have in a movie like Yuma County, but also at the same time, go back to that whole notion of really lightheartedness and kind of just a light to this film, and that's Barbara Crampton. She just really stole the scene. She had some of the most memorable and funnier scenes within the movie, and I just loved her character. I go back to the direction and the script from Galluppi. This is one of the best paced action thrillers that I've seen in a long time, and this film kind of feels almost Coen brother-esque. In its delivery, it kind of has these moments where it reminds me of like early in their careers, and I just kind of found that really enjoyable alongside a lot of the twists and turns and thrills that the script and film offers. I talked about it with Crampton's character in particular, but this movie actually does have some really genuinely funny moments to kind of break and really ease a lot of that tension that I found just kind of, again, a thing of mastery when it came to the storytelling and how Galluppi allowed this story to be told. I feel like if I keep talking about this movie, I'm just going to end up spoiling it. It's a lot of fun. Let's run it through the Rorschach rating scale. I am going to go ahead and give The Last Stop in Yuma County a 4 out of 5. I think this film is greatly directed. It shows a lot of promise in terms of storytelling. The acting across the board is really great. If I had one complaint, it is the lack of character development within the circumstances of this. Everything does feel like a one-note character, but it's a very minor complaint with how many twists and turns and how fun this movie just ultimately ends up being. If you have seen The Last Stop in Yuma County, what did you think? Comment below and let me know. Last Stop in Yuma County is now available on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital, wherever you guys get your movies from our friends over at Wellgo. In the show notes below, you guys can pick up a copy for yourselves today or find out where to stream it from our friends over at Just Watch. But let's talk about mental health. If you guys are new to our content, Mental Health Moment is where we will take a theme out of the movie, which we're talking about, discuss it for a few moments in the hopes to deconstruct the stigma surrounding mental health. I think this movie is a great reminder without digging into a lot of the narrative proportioned about it, that no matter how bad the circumstances of life get, and I think a lot of us need to hear this right now, that there is always hope for tomorrow, that there is always a reason to hold on and make it to the next day. It's one of the things that I find so fascinating about the Jim Cummings character in this, is that he is a dad that is just down on his luck, that is just trying to get back to his daughter throughout the entirety of the film. And no matter how crazy the circumstances of the film and things that the characters within this world go through, he's constantly always looking forward to that, providing a better life for his daughter, and also just being able to see her on her birthday. And sometimes just setting up those little moments of things that we can look forward to can just improve our mental health and actually just give us touchstone points just to stay connected to this life and stay connected to the people that we care about. So please, this is a challenge to you if you're watching this and you're currently struggling with depression or suicide or addiction or self-harm. First off, in the show notes below, you guys will find links to our mental health resource library. But also, set up for yourself, go to the Dollar Tree and just get a calendar and just find one thing a week just to look forward to, and just start counting down to those days and holding on. And as soon as that eventually changes, just continue to just make it a practice for yourself, just to continue looking forward to something. Like I said earlier, The Last Stop in Yuma County is now available on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital from our friends over at Wellgo Entertainment. Click the links in the show notes below to check it out, and check it out just also to see where you can stream it.